Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and in this video we have the brand new release from Mattel's 2026 Jurassic World Survival toy line, the gigantic Thrashers Gorgosaurus. Taking a quick look at the box, we can see the Jurassic World Survival logo right here, a nice jungle background, the new features that this figure has, the tail spinning action, and the growing spikes and chomping action, which we will show later in the video. Taking a quick look at the back of the box, we can see it says armor plates grow, total tail spinning action, a nice image of the new gigantic Thrashers Stegosaurus figure, the Jurassic World logo, and a nice image of the Gorgosaurus. So let's take this figure out of the packaging. So first impressions, this looks like quite a unique figure. Taking a look at the head sculpt, it looks lovely. We can see it even has lips, which is amazing. And if we open up the mouth, we can see a nicely sculpted tongue and new rubber teeth, which is better as it allows for the figure to have sharper teeth. If we turn our attention to the tail, I do have quite a lot to say about that. I am not pleased with it, and I'll share my thoughts on that in a second, and I'll tell you why. But if we take a look at the rest of the figure, the legs, we have some nice muscle definition, and then the ankle is really nicely sculpted here. And then we have spikes and osteoderms running down the entire body. Quite bigger spikes coming on this section, but this is to do with the action feature, and I'll show you guys in a minute. Some nice spikes and osteoderms on the head, and honestly really well sculpted figure. Going back to what I said about the tail spikes, now tail spikes are fine on a dinosaur figure, but only if they're done subtly and well. But Mattel has went way too overboard with these spikes and exaggerated them quite a lot, which makes the figure look a little cheaper. And yes, it does look cool at first glance, but this does ruin the figure, no doubt about it. And Gorgosaurus having spikes on it is just really weird, especially on the tail. It makes me dislike the sculpt even more. I know Mattel is going for a mutant theme, but this is just a bit too much. Anyway, turning our attention to the colours, which I quite like the colours. A really nice beige colour transitioning into a more red and then maroon colour. But then it does look a little unnatural and kind of like some sort of hedgehog. But it's okay, I guess, as, you know, the figures aren't going to look 100% natural all the time. And then we do have some white underbelly here, which I really don't know why they went for just one white section here. I wish they just carried it down the entire figure. That would make more sense. And there's a weird splash of brown, which I do not really get. And then here is the scan code for the fax app, if you're going to want to scan that in now. For the action feature, you're going to want to press this button and the mouth will open and the spikes will grow, which is an odd choice for a action feature, to be honest. The spikes growing, I don't really get that, and the mouth does open. But this action feature kind of reminds me of the old company that used to do Jurassic World figures, Hasbro, and we all know what happened to Hasbro. They did not do well, so I hope Mattel fixes these action features immediately. Now, for the tail spinning action, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to press this button here, and the tail will do a quick and fast spin around. Now, you can constantly press it to do more spins, and honestly, that is quite a weird feature for a Gorgosaurus, and honestly reminds me of some sort of armadillo, so I don't know what they were really going for with the Gorgosaurus action feature here. For a few size comparisons, here we have the Gorgosaurus next to the new Jurassic World Survival Carnotaurus. And here we have it next to my next review, the new marine reptile. Now let's take a look at all the detail on the figure. So starting off with the head, we can see a really nice sculpted eye, and we can see all the wrinkles underneath the eye, all the spikes and osteoderms and all the texture here. We can see two spikes or horns on the front of the figure. Turning over to the front, we can see it's a very odd front view with two little spikes poking out. Turning the figure over, we can see some more spikes running down the whole figure. We can see where the action feature is, where you can actually open the mouth from here if you want to. We can see the hands are really nicely sculpted. They are not painted though, which is unfortunate. But on the upside, the toenails are painted, and we can see they're very nicely sculpted as well. And going to the back, we can see more texturing and muscle definition all over the figure. And then the tail is where it's all kind of lost. It looks like some sort of armadillo, which is odd for the species of Gorgosaurus. And honestly, the tail is where this figure just loses me. I think it looks good mostly up until here, and then the tail just ruins it. So now let's try to do all the action features at once. So yeah, that was definitely interesting. I really don't get what they were going for with the action feature. Okay, I get the bite and chomp. That is, normal. The spikes growing, I guess you could say, is a little odd, but that's fine. And then this is where it just loses me here. The tail whipping around. I mean, you're not going to do much with that anyway. And honestly, why does Gorgosaurus even do that? It looks like some sort of armadillo, like I said earlier. I'm not really liking the new action features for the Jurassic World survival figures. For another view of the figure, here's a little 360. Here's the action feature closer up from a different angle. And here's the tail spike action. So the Jurassic World Survival Gorgosaurus, should you pick this figure up? I say yes, go for it, as Gorgosaurus is, it's a big species in the, Jurassic or dinosaur community. It was in Walking with Dinosaurs, the 3D movie. But what Mattel did deliver isn't really the best. Sculpt-wise, Mattel sculpts always look amazing, but honestly, they lose me with some of their detail and action feature-wise. Now, I know Jurassic World figures aren't supposed to look exactly like the real-life species, but this doesn't really it kind of resembles it up until here, and then this tail, the tail just loses me. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the photography pictures that are going to come up of this Gorgosaurus right now at the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.